All right, welcome back everyone for another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about data mashups.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I hear that term, I immediately think about combining ingredients together to make something new.
Totally.
But in this case, we're talking about combining data from different sources to uncover hidden insights.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And, I think for learners, people who want to learn new things quickly, this is like a really important topic.
Yeah.
Now, you've provided some really interesting material about something called Power Query.
Yeah.
And it's M formula language.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first saw M formula language, I thought, oh boy, this is going to be complicated.
It sounds intimidating.
It sounds very intimidating. So I'm really excited to dive into this.
Okay.
So first of all, what exactly is this Power Query M formula language?
Well, so Power Query itself is this really cool tool that allows you to connect to different data sources and then shape and transform that data to your liking. And the M formula language is the language that you use to do all that shaping and transforming.
So it's like the instructions you're giving to Power Query to make it work.
Yes.
Got it. It's like a scripting language, right?
Yeah, it's a scripting language. So you're writing little scripts to tell Power Query what to do.
So, I mean, you've given me this material about this M formula language.
Yeah.
And one of the functions that really jumped out at me was this Combiner.CombineTextByPositions function. I mean, just the name of it.
I know.
Sounds really cool.
It does.
And powerful.
It sounds very powerful.
What exactly does this thing do?
Okay, so
break it down for us.
Basically, imagine you have different pieces of text. Like you've got a city.
Okay.
You've got a state.
Yeah.
And you've got a zip code.
Yeah.
But they're all in separate columns or separate data sources. And you want to combine them all together.
Right.
Into like a complete address. Yeah. This function lets you do that. Okay. So you can say, okay, I want the city first, then I want the state, then I want the zip code.
So it's like taking different parts of text and just like
backing them together.
It's like a text blender.
A text blender.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. That's a great way to put it.
Right, because you can specify the exact order you want them.
So it's not just
concatenating everything together.
Right.
It's giving you that control.
It's very specific.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, I mean, you talk about like an address. I mean, I'm already thinking about all the different ways this could be useful, right? I mean, like imagine you've got data about, customers or products or orders, right?
Exactly. You could just
combine product names with descriptions. With, categories.
You could build these really compelling reports really easily.
All right.
So this is like a real time saver.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a huge time saver.
Yeah, because I can imagine doing this manually, copy and paste, that would be a nightmare.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've got this function. It sounds really powerful. Sounds really easy to use. But I know there's always got to be a catch, right?
Well, there's a little bit of a learning curve with the syntax. Yes, syntax. Because it's not a big catch. It's just the way you write the formula.
Okay. So can you break down the syntax for us?
Sure. So the syntax is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Basically, you start with the function name, which is Combiner.CombineTextByPositions. And then you have parentheses. And inside the parentheses, you have a couple of arguments. The first argument is a list of texts that you want to combine.
Okay.
So that's like your city, state, zip code. Each one of those would be a separate item in that list. And then the second argument is a list of positions.
Positions. Okay.
And that tells Power Query the order in which you want those texts combined.
Okay.
So if you want the city first, the position would be 1. If you want the state second, the position would be 2.
So it's like literally telling Power Query the steps.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Right.
Yeah. I can handle that.
It's not too complicated.
So it sounds like the real key here is understanding those positions.
Yes, understanding the positions is key.
Yeah.
Because that's what gives you that fine-grained control.
Got it.
Over how the text is combined.
So going back to the example of building an address.
Yeah.
Right? I would say, okay, position 1, I want the city.
Yes.
Position 2, the state. Position 3, zip code.
Exactly.
And boom, I've got a complete address.
And you can even add like commas and spaces in between. If you want to format it nicely.
So there's there's even more you can do with this function.
Yes. Right. There's a lot of flexibility.
Okay. I'm starting to see how powerful this is.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can take these different pieces of text, right?
Yeah.
And you can just like manipulate them.
Yes.
However you want. I mean,
You're like
a text wizard.
a text wizard. Okay,
Yeah.
I love it. So, I mean, we've talked about this.
Okay.
Combiner.CombineTextByPositions function. Are there other functions within this M formula language
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's tons of functions.
that are just as cool as this one?
Yeah, there's functions for cleaning data,
Yeah.
transforming data, merging data. You could do all sorts of things.
Wow. Okay. So, to kind of like wrap things up here, we've learned about
Uh-huh.
data mashups, which are all about combining data from different
Yeah.
sources. We've learned about the M formula language, which is like the recipe.
For creating those mashups. And we've learned about this specific function, the Combiner.CombineTextByPositions, which is just one of the tools
Yeah.
in this powerful toolbox.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. So I guess the question I have for our listeners is, what other kind of data combinations can you create?
Yeah.
You know,
What other cool things can you do?
what are the possibilities here?
Yeah.
Think outside the box.
Yeah, I think it's
This is a really powerful tool. So go out there and experiment
Yes, experience.
and see what you can do with it.
That's what it's all about.
All right. Well, that's it for today's deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.